Hello again, everybody. It looks like it's time for us to talk a little bit about Lesson 924 in your CPM book. This lesson is titled How Does It Grow? And we're going to be talking about simple interest and finding tips. Before we go very much further, you should stop the video and make sure that you have read the introduction and the background information so that you understand what we are trying to figure out in the problem. When you're done doing that, go ahead and get this video started again. You'll notice that on my paper, I have written down the lesson title, the 3 problems that I would like you to try to work on for this assignment. And I'm going to move a little bit further. I've written down the question, the overarching question for the first problem, which is, what is the tip? Tipping is something that is very common and something that your adults in your life probably do frequently if you are going out to eat. And so we want to make sure that we are aware of how this works, and so that we're making sure that our tip is appropriate and not too much. And let's go ahead and figure out what to do next. I wrote down a little reminder here that I want to pull the important information. And after I read through the problem with Kendra and her friends, the bill that they had at the restaurant was $125 in total. The first part of this problem asks us to find a way, actually find 2 ways to figure out a 15% tip. I'm going to talk you through one way to find a 15% tip that you should be able to apply into the next part of the problem, and also into problem 9-71 and 9-72 as well. I chose to make a percent ruler because sometimes without using a calculator, tipping can be a little bit hard for us to visualize. So I like to kind of have this picture in front of me. And I'm on this percent ruler. The way that this works, if you recall, we have $0 down here with 0%. And at the other end, we have 100%. And the 100% of what we're working with today is $125. Many of us in our math class can, in our head, without doing any calculation with a calculator or showing any math on paper, we can calculate 10% of $125, and that becomes $12.50. Knowing that $12.50 is equal to 10%, I can then go ahead and consider this a type of rate, a type of a unit rate, and I can multiply this by 2 to get 20%, times 3 to get 30%, times 4 to get 40%, and so on. But you might be wondering, how am I going to figure out that 5%? And I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put the mark where 5% would be. You'll notice I'm making a little bit longer so that it's not quite so crowded on my screen in that percent ruler. And when I'm looking at this, I see visually that 5% is midpoint between 0% and 10%. Many of you have already had the aha moment and have gone ahead and on your paper perhaps have written down $12.50 and divided it into 2 parts. And when I'm doing that, I'm going to do my long division carefully and accurately. Bring down my 5. 2 goes into 5 2 times. And we have 4. Here we bring down the 0. And 2 is able to go into 10 5 times without any remainder. So we'll finish off that division. And so you can see what's happening here. We'll go ahead and we'll adjust the .cam and my paper. And there we have it. We have 10% divided in half gives me $6.25 for my monetary amount for this percent ruler. So I'm going to put that up here. If I add together 5% plus 10%, I get 15%. I can add together $12.50 and $6.25, making sure I line up those decimals. And I get $18.75 for my 15% tip. You're asked to find another way to do this without a calculator, and I'm going to turn this back to you for your independent work time. Please remember that as you're working through problem 9-70, as we are doing this, you can go back to the percent ruler as one of your strategies if you wish. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking for 2 different strategies recorded on your paper for today. Make sure that you read the problem for 9-71 and 9-72 carefully. We're looking at interest instead of saving or having a discount. Right now, what we're looking at is with tips and with our interest, we're looking at adding a percentage to an original amount. Once you get this in-class work completed, there are some review preview problems for you to do. They're found after the math notes in your ebook. And those problems are reviews of some of the things that we've done in the past. Some of it has been in the near past, and some of it's been in the far past. And look forward to seeing what you have to share with me when you submit your problems at the end of your work time today. Thank you. See you, or actually, we'll talk next time.